I just made it go live. So
Okay.
we're setting it up right now.
Who do we have online?
George? I don't know George's last name.
George Ekman, he's the
Western.
from Western. Yeah.
Okay. All righty. Call this meeting to order. This is a special meeting, right?
Pre-budget approval.
Pre-budget, but I mean, it's not a regularly scheduled meeting.
It is.
It is
a
because
regularly
we
scheduled
canceled the
meeting.
last one.
We just moved this one. And have a special work session.
Okay.
So, but this is actually a regularly scheduled.
Okay, this is a regularly
It's
scheduled.
just special in that we have to do the budget this time. We normally would have done the budget last month.
Okay, right. Okay, thank you. All righty. Welcome, George.
Welcome. Thank you.
We need a motion to approve the minutes from our January meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the minutes from our BOCES meeting back in January.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the January BOCES meeting minutes. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Motion carries.
George said I also.
Okay.
Do we need
Now,
to
can he
approve?
see us? Or is there a
He
camera?
can see you, but you can't see him.
Okay,
Yeah, do you want to see him?
not necessarily. Well, then we'd have to go to Zoom. wouldn't we?
Right,
Yeah, then it
okay,
messes everything up.
okay. Yes, he's here and I can see him and I'll let you know.
Okay. Treasurer's report.
Do we need to approve the agenda?
Oh,
That was
Yes.
included in my motion. for the minutes.
Oh, okay. We can.
We can go back.
well,
Do that.
let's go back.
Mr. Chairman, I also move that we approve.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Opposed? Motion carries. I heard it. Okay, now treasurer's report.
Mr. Chairman, your treasurer's fund balance at the end of May 30th of 2020 is $181,697.72. I started there. You have your different monthly reports for your revenue and reimbursed expenses. I will let you know that the revenue for June, just FYI, is $17,000, of $3,000 of which will go to Region 5. Just a little over 3,000. So you can bring your fund balance up a little bit higher, but you can pretty much say that your 180 is about what you're going to carry forward between what expenses you have for June and or for May that we're approving today, and then your payroll. So that's about what you can figure that you're carrying forward. And you see that you have money invested at WildStar. The rate at the end of May was 9.98. I got the statement today that it dropped to 0.50 change. So, but to invest it any other way, you're looking at 0.3. So I think we're still doing good with WildStar as far as investing. Do you have any questions regarding the treasurer's report?
Thank you, Sally.
You're welcome, sir.
Okay. Let's go to consideration of bills. Do we need a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
No, sir.
Okay, just for the bills.
Yes.
Frank, I had a question. On the January bills, we don't really usually do like bills committee, but supplies, like hotel roof in January.
That was, we got all reimbursed for that. That was for the presidential meeting for Western Wyoming.
Okay.
Because I did all the
I was just
catering and we
curious.
got reimbursed for that.
I didn't see anything else that I couldn't figure out there, but I figured it was something like that.
they get the lunch for
Right.
that meeting.
Okay. Assuming everybody had an opportunity to look at all the bills. I guess we'll need a motion for each particular.
Sorry, she didn't combine them all into one.
No, but we can make a motion for all of them. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the following bills. January, $2,803.75. For February, $3,891.01. For March, $1,743.71. April, $904.83. May, $15,825.86 for whatever that totals up to.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the January, February, March, April, and May bills. And then we'll repeat those numbers. Any discussion? Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Alrighty, unfinished business, salary and bonus discussion for BOCES director.
So right now, we're paying $25 an hour
Yeah.
and approximately 20 hours a week. It was the plan.
And we've been very close. As of right now, I mean, life being the way that it is, but our adult education classes, there's a huge interest in that. And as things they are loosening up, people are emailing me or calling me saying, hey, are we gonna get these up and rolling again? What's the plan? How can we do this? And I'm trying to wrap my head around that. But I feel that we could definitely increase my hours for sure. There's other with community education, as well as that would give me the opportunity to hit more of the northern district, because putting on programs in the northern part of the district, there's a chunk of time that's just taken up in driving, which is ridiculous. But that's the way of life. And I feel, I think 30 hours a week would be nice. I could utilize those 10 other hours. With the successes we've had with the increase in kindergarten readiness, the adult education, and doing things within the schools, I think just an hourly raise would be nice as well, because I have made BOCES a presence within the school district and people are talking about it very positively, in fact. So I've done the 3 things, or the things you guys instilled upon me when you were in July.
Okay, any thoughts, comments, proposals?
So how does that, so is that like 50 hours a week? I mean, 50 weeks a year roughly, or 52, or how many weeks do you work?
Well, technically there's no time off, but that's just the way that it is. I would assume
Right,
I'm not 52 weeks a year, because that's crazy.
right. That's what
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
I'm just trying to think how much that, so.
2 weeks off essentially would be like, I mean, if you started a new job, you would get guaranteed 2 weeks off essentially.
That's what I was trying to figure. So 25 times 20 hours a week, we're basically budgeting $500 a week right now for 20 hours. And 30 times 30 would be $900 a week. So the difference, that's what I'm asking. So the difference is $400 times 50 weeks a year is $20,000 more total, which is more time and more per hour.
Any thoughts from you, Sally?
Mr. Chairman, I believe Brett works really hard and that she's worthy of any raise or increase in hours that you all would consider. I think that you're, with the carrying over, you basically with this past year have spent what you took in, which is the purpose of BOCES. So you have some money in order to build it up, and you want to see your programs grow. I think that in order for that to happen, that she needs more time. And I think she's worth whatever you pay per hour. And that being said, your budget can sustain an increase which would, from James's calculation, would be almost double, or 2/3 anyway more than what you're currently paying. And I think that's sustainable through those. If you get to the point where you're using up that cash carryover, you're not supposed to have money left over, technically. So, using up some of that would not be a bad thing. And I'll tell you right now, we haven't discussed this as the school board, but your assessed valuations, the estimate I've gotten from the county treasurer's office, the assessed valuations have come in $40 million higher than they were last year. $40 million higher. Went from 135 million to 175, which is
So
significant.
about
Yeah.
15% higher.
Yeah, so which is significant in the fact that you have about 62,000, 64,000 coming in this year. Next year it's going to be 80 something.
Yeah.
So your revenue is coming up as assessed valuations are up. Your revenue is going to be up as well.
Almost 20,000.
I would say,
Yeah.
just not exactly talking dollars, but I mean, it's kind of what the BOCES board and the whole board wants the purpose of the BOCES to be. If we want to expand that to where we have adult classes, really, which we've never had consistently since I've been here. But if we want the purpose to kind of expand in that, I mean, it's going to take more hours, more money for that. So, kind of goes back to what the goal of
What the goals are.
BOCES board
Yeah.
is.
And we'd rather
The part of it is-
but we'd rather do a few things well than try to do everything. Kind of felt that way generally.
So what would you think of James, 30 hours and?
Well, I was just doing the math. So at that suggestion, 30 hours at $30 an hour is $900. I'm just saying that's 20,000 more than we've been on. I don't necessarily have a problem because if the assessed valuation comes up.
I would say 250 weeks is probably a little, I don't know how realistic that is because usually BOCES directors don't work in the Christmas holidays and spring break. And I mean, it's not
Right.
technically going to be 50 weeks. It's going to be probably mid-40s, I'm guessing. Yeah, the holidays and all that stuff. So.
But then by the time you add benefits.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And or, I mean, like payroll taxes and stuff, then it's probably still pretty close to that. I personally don't have a problem with that. I mean, I think you're doing a good job, Rick, and we get stuff done. We weren't getting anything done before. So. I don't think,
really.
I think we just want to be careful not to chase a bunch of rabbit. We want to do what we're doing well and not trying to do everything for everybody. Still. See the wheels are turning.
Yeah, it's just interesting, like with 10 extra hours, I mean, that's giving you 50% more hours. And so just thinking about maybe, it would be nice to know, if we were to approve this, maybe the next time we meet, what the priorities were and what you would plan to do with those. I definitely know you mentioned it already, and so definitely would be in favor of that. I think that would be great. But it's hard for me, like I do feel like I've been on here several months or a couple of weeks, but I still feel like it's pretty new, like getting a grasp of what this board is about and what the goals are and what we're trying to accomplish. And I think part of that's because I don't have, I like lists. So I don't have something that says, oh, these are the programs that we're doing that's included in BOCES. And so that's just, I think as a newer board member, that's kind of what's hard for me. So, but again, I think everything that I've seen has been really positive, and I think there has been a lot, I watched a lot of it on Facebook, and I think it's really positive, and you know, Rec's getting a lot of interest, and so I think that is speaking really well for the program itself, so.
So is 30 hours enough?
Well, I've efficiently been working in 20 and getting quite a bit done, and I am very efficient. I think 30 would be good for now. I mean, we could revisit that if I find that I have expanded and I'm not capable of doing some of these other things that we need to be doing, but 10 extra hours a week, I think would be very beneficial. I'm not sure that it would be enough, but it's more than what I have right now, so I would take it.
Well, that's what I was just gonna ask you.
I wish Sally was in here at this moment. I just worried just a little bit. I know that's have you guys discussed?
We have
part-time,
discussed
full-time?
this, and so because BOCES is an employee of one, benefits don't have, like, health benefits don't have to be covered. Sally and I have talked about the potential if it goes above 30 hours, and benefits is something we talk about instead of running it through the school district because the accounting is very hard, that essentially what would end up happening would be like an extra stipend that would cover healthcare.
And I just wasn't sure if the mark is 29 or.
Well, since I'm an employee of one,
You're okay.
I'm okay, even up to 30.
Up to 30.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it's actually up technically to 35, but we'll have to ask Sally. Okay. Make sure for that.
Well, anything over 30 is considered full-time, but the difference is health benefits are not part of BOCES because of the employee of one. The other things like retirement, all would just be based on our hours and their salary, just a percentage. Okay.
I'm sorry.
So what happens if you decide or we find out, Brett, that it's not enough hours and you do go to full-time status?
Basically,
You guys have
what it is now. I mean, because the benefit, technically 30 hours and plus is going to be considered full-time legally right now. So if she works 30 hours, that puts her full-time. The difference is when an employee in the district goes to full-time, they add the $22,000 health benefit for family. Whereas the BOCES, you don't add that 22,000, so you're just increasing whatever the hours the rate is, and then plus the percentage for loan, retirement, and some of those things. I mean, that's the only difference, and I don't know if that's sick leave and all this.
And I think, Charlie, the other answer, I guess my take on that too is if we say, look, we're only paying 30 hours.
Yeah.
We can do 30 hours. We can say that and say, you know, we just gotta get it done. Or move some into the next week. And you know, it's not always gonna be 30 hours every week. It might be 35, 25, whatever. But I don't know. I think as an employer, I probably think we would have that discretion.
So the stipend that you mentioned, how would we work something like that for healthcare if we even consider it?
Well, you'd have to recommend that to you'd have to well, if you wanted to, I mean, any employer gets to offer whatever they want to do, you just have to be recommendation to the full board and the vote. If you added the whole healthcare thing, that's just a whole other situation that's never been part of those cities, so. And that would be a pretty substantial another increase for revenue. I mean, you'd have to consider the revenues coming in and all that too. I mean, I think you'd have to look at that a little bit in more depth before you make that decision, would be my thoughts. Yeah. Right.
Well, I don't have any heartburn on increase in hours for wages, so. You know, if there's any chance of considering a stipend later, we need to consider that now also. Before you decide on a number.
Well, in my mind is we can come up with this plan now and that is sustainable from what I've heard. And then, you know, if in a year from now we want to evaluate, you know, doing something additional such as a stipend or additional hours or whatever, that would kind of be like a phase 2 and we would do that at a later time.
Well, and all decisions, just like everything in the budget, it kind of depends on the revenues coming in, the sustainability of it. I mean, to be honest, we don't know where the budget's gonna be in coming year or two. I mean, in any, whether it's the regular budget or the BOCES budget, so I mean,
So, yeah, so we can plan for today.
Yeah.
Well, I will go ahead and move, that we, for the next fiscal year, go to Brett's suggestion of 30 hours a week, and $30 an hour for that.
I'll second that. And I want to find out how I can get a 30-hour full-time job.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve expanding Rex hours to 30 hours a week and $30 an hour. Is that okay?
I just had, if I can, make it seems like there was, where is that? The other discussion in this was about the bonus, because, you know, all the employees got a bonus, CCSD too, so there's actually two pieces I can talk about. Now that Sally's back, she can answer any question on the bonus, but this was a two-part
Yeah, your,
decision.
if I may, Mr. Chairman, the bonus that the district employees received who've been with the district a year and we're going forward into another year was $650, prorated by FTE. And so Rex would be prorated. Did you approve? If you approve, well, at 20 hours, it would be 50%. So the bonus would be $325 based on those calculations. So, you know, but the BOCES board is not bound by those decisions of the school board, so.
Okay. What would you
Do you
like?
want to amend your motion? Or should we just?
Or should we make two motions?
You make, pretty sure there's no school district employee getting a 20% raise per hour either. Either way, that doesn't matter. No, I'm not gonna amend my motion, you can make another motion.
Okay.
Or you can amend that one, somebody else can make that.
So we have a motion and we have a second for 30 hours and $30 an hour. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, bonus. And Sally just informed us what it would have been if it's going to be equivalent to what the district employees got.
But for the sake of argument and fairness, I would think we want to impose the same thing. You know, just follow the guidelines that we have for the rest of the district, even though it's not, it's separate.
Was that a motion, sorry?
That's a motion.
I'll second the motion.
So throw out the dollar amount. 325,
325.
thank you. I apologize.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to give the BOCES director a $325 bonus. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next on the agenda is to approve the 2021 budget, preliminary budget. Now, will this have to be amended for the,
For a final budget in July, yes, sir.
okay, but I mean amended because of our,
Salary and hours.
No, I didn't hear it in your motion, excuse me, but I believe that your raise would take place for July 1, the beginning of the new fiscal year. Your bonus we can pay out in with this payroll June 25th. but it's well within your budget for salary and benefits.
No, but his question is the budget will.
It's gonna have to be amended for the 2021.
Okay,
For the final approval.
Not amended, it'll be adjusted when you approve the final budget in July. You did the preliminary budget that you're approving today, and then in July, on the third Wednesday of July, you will approve your final budget as well.
okay, so the final budget,
We'll adjust it to accommodate the raise.
okay,
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
okay, I was just having
And
a
then
little
that,
difficulty.
that would also be an item on the regular board,
Correct. to
at the
approve.
July meeting. There's no, okay, I'm just trying to clarify my mind.
As part of the regular board's budget document is the BOCES budget that is also approved during the final board budget.
Okay, thank you.
Making sure.
Okay, so we've had an opportunity to look over this preliminary budget.
So it looks like, so total outside of cash reserve or whatever, total revenues are expected to be 136,000. Total expenditures, 140,000, with change one way or the other. So the expected drawdown is not terribly significant, less than $5,000. So on this preliminary, that's sustainable. Did have a question about the kindergarten readiness grants. So we just didn't get that for the current fiscal year,
For
correct?
the current one,
But next year, we're likely to.
we're likely to get it, and I have built in funds to help incur some of the other costs from this year,
Okay, but that's
for next year.
in the past, but next year, we're still, you could
Yeah.
expect that.
Yeah. And it would, of course, be up to them, but
Right, of course, yeah.
did she have a contact already?
Yes, we're
Okay,
putting good.
good.
Track record has been for sure.
Yes, and very supportive.
Any other questions concerning the budget or the preliminary budget?
The one thing that you guys don't know about, I have asked to get, I've got 3 different people who are giving new insurance quotes, and they should be considerably lower than they have been. So that's good.
Insurance for,
We've got the umbrella policy, and so essentially right now it's budgeted for liability insurance for 5,500, and then the vehicle and property insurance is under that, but I've got various companies looking right now other than Talent. One, when we started looking originally last year, it came back about $1,200 cheaper than what we were paying, so I just thought we would go ahead and float around a little bit further than Carbon County and see where we had to offer in some other places. So I hope to have those back by next week.
and the $12,000 transfer to Region 5 BOCES, that was the 0.1 mils,
Correct.
assuming if we do that again. There's still money in there basically for that. Which is a good point of conversation in our board meeting later.
And that'll come, excuse me, Mr. Chairman, that'll come straight off your tax revenue at the 87,000, will come off the top of that,
If we wanted to.
if you want.
Okay, any other discussion or questions? Can I entertain a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the BOCES budget, the preliminary BOCES budget for the fiscal year 2020 to 2021.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the preliminary budget.
In the amount of $320,729.
Okay, thank you, Sally. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
I,
Motion carries. Okay, any audience for that?
Nope.
Okay, our next meeting, and there's no new business. Our next meeting will be Wednesday, July 15th, 2020 at 4:45 PM here at the central office.
We have to approve this because via our schedule, it was actually supposed to be a work session, but since we are behind, we have to get our budget approved. So you guys have to make a decision on whether you want to have just one meeting where it's a normal meeting and leave it at that, or if we have two where we do a meeting at another day to approve the budget and then still have our work session on that Wednesday.
Or we could have the regular meeting and a budget hearing right after. That's option 2 on here.
Yes.
You could have a work session and have
Regular.
a regular budget hearing. You could have a work session and a budget hearing if you want.
So we could do them both on the same day. Just to approve the budget doesn't take.
So the question really is to have a work session or a regular meeting followed by a budget hearing.
Correct.
Is there any reason to have a work session? Because you just can't take action.
We don't really have anything that I feel at this juncture we need a work session for. The reason that's there is technically via our handbook. In our handbook, it says we will have a work session in July. So shall we just have a meeting,
Regular meeting followed by a budget.
budget hearing?
I move okay. I move that we have a special meeting for that day followed by a budget hearing.
Work session.
Second.
Followed by a budget hearing.
Makes sense.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second to have this will be a special meeting and followed by a budget meeting where we have to approve the budget on the second Wednesday in July at 4:45 PM here at central office.
third Wednesday, third
I
Wednesday.
think it's the
Third Wednesday, excuse me.
First is on Wednesdays. Yeah, or
Forgive me for my confusion. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So with no further business, I adjourn the meeting. Okay, George, thank you for attending.
Well, I'm sorry I haven't been able to in the past, but especially with our isolation now still going on, I shall try if you'll have these Zooms. I would like to get an agenda sent to me prior to the meeting. So please, if you would, include that for next month's meeting.
Okay, we can do that.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. And you have a good weekend and thank you.
All right.
Okay, meeting adjourned.